Okay. Um, uh, I think the last video I did was on competence, and I have done others on that. And I've been struggling kind of with everything that's going on around us. And one of the things that in my readings that we are avoiding is reality. And all individuals, all nations, all civilizations, empires, whatever, have to face reality. And it never goes away, it's always there. And reality, of course, brings challenges, and the people, the states, the governments, whatever, who are most successful at, excuse me, at facing those challenges, reality, are the ones that endure, persevere, and go on. So you reach those moments, and for instance, in my studies, like the Greeks grew and prospered for several centuries and brought us great things that we still use today. But their city-state system was one that did not allow them to grow. And they were replaced by the Roman Republic, which faced its own challenges and ceased to be a republic and became an empire, which was successful at facing the challenges of reality for a while, and then was not and collapsed. And so it goes all through that when you have to endure or you can't endure unless you face reality. And a lot of what we see now, we think of as craziness or whatever, I think as people trying to avoid the world. And the United States and Western Europe to a certain extent, but the United States in particular, because of our location and so forth, and what built us, we were able to build this really wonderful place that kept people relatively safe from a lot of the garbage that goes on in the world. And now we're more exposed to that. The world's closer connected. Things like these computers and so forth bring us together more, sometimes not willingly, bring us together more and more. So we are faced with a shrinking world and the same challenges of people who don't believe like we do, people who don't like us, people in our own country, our own civilization who don't like us. And how you respond to that is going to determine where we go. And you can't hide from it. Reality, well, this is getting kind of off kilter, I guess. But you can't hide from the world. You can try. And you can, now they have this thing called safe spaces and so forth and so on. And that's fine to a certain extent. But you have to face it. Recently, there's an entity which I've never been on called Twitter that has gotten very powerful. And there's some people that have been running it that believe a certain way, and evidently they've kept other people off or run them out or whatever. And again, that's a lot of things I'm not familiar with, but they've been acquired. And what I saw from the outside was a hard-nosed businessman, the man who was, his name's Musk, who was acquiring or trying a hostile takeover of this company. And you had a lot of people on the board and within the company, employees, who believed a certain way, and they lived within that way, and they didn't think anybody else should believe that way. That's just what I see from where I am. And they thought they were perfectly right in denying other people the right to express themselves, which supposedly was what the platform was built on originally. But the thing is they did not know how to really fight this businessman who knew how go through a hostile takeover. I'm not going to go through all the mechanics of it, but he knew what to do. It only took him a month. And now I understand that they're very upset and so forth and so on. But that's the thing is, Elon Musk was reality. They didn't know how to face that. And they're still trying to hide from it. And there are people in the political world that are doing the same thing. Now, we as a country, as a civilization, have been coming to this point for a long time now. And we have to face reality. And we've got people that are going to very good universities and very smart people who don't know what to do. And it's not as easy as turning off this computer, because the world outside these borders is not the world inside these borders, and we don't know how to deal with that. You've got Ivy League educated people that have no idea of what the Chinese are doing, the Russians are doing, and in many ways, we brought this on ourselves because we naively, and I'm not going to get into all that right now, did many things that poked the bear and brought this about. So I'm going to end this now because I'm trying to keep these short. But what I started off doing these was to talk about history and to talk about our history and what we need to do to try to learn from that. And again, the people who are trying to avoid reality are the ones who are destroying that history. And so you can't learn from it if you destroy it and wipe it out and get rid of it. Then you don't learn anything. And that's what you do to deal with the world. You face reality, and reality will bite you in the rear end and you will fail. But you learn from those failures and you pick yourself up and you move on. You don't whine and wail and gnash your teeth and talk about how unfair the world is. The world is unfair. It always has been. It always will be. And how you deal with that is how well you will do and whether or not you will endure. So anyway, that's the end of that. Y'all have a good day.